yoga today. Working today on the hips, the hamstrings, kind of getting a nice big opening in the body today, and mostly today having a little fun on the mat. So I could use a little fun in my life this week. So a little fun playing around with the body on the mat in yoga. With today's practice, we're going to start moving a little bit to get a little warm, and then we're going to come into a nice luxurious stretch. That should feel really good. And then play around with some balance. So for today's practice, you will definitely benefit from some sort of blanket or pillow to sit on underneath, especially for the seated work. And then you'll benefit from we are going to do belt work today. So grab some sort of belt. If you don't have a yoga belt at your mat, no worries. You can grab either a scarf or the tab, maybe of a robe, a belt that's soft but very strong. So pop off your mat and find something like that to use on your practice today. And then when you come back, we're going to start with some breath work. So oftentimes when we can open the body physically, it can sort of parallel into a little bit of fresh opening mentally as well. And when we are sort of quarantining and confined, sometimes just that illusion, that sensation of freedom in the body can create this nice ease throughout the mind and sort of the attitude of the space as we approach this next week. So we're going to come into some centering breath work. I'm going to stay seated today. If seated is not comfortable for you, certainly lie down in constructive rest with the knees bent, but sort of decide where you want to be today, how you want to start. And there's no right or wrong for breath work in practice. Just kind of see what the body needs early on and what will suit you. If you do come to seated or modified heroes with a block under your or a blanket under your bottom, make sure you get into a comfortable seat. So if you're joining me in a simple seat today and your simple seat does not feel expressive or open, or you feel some tightness in the low back, don't try to stay there to muscle through your breath work. Step away and pick a different pose. As with all yoga practices, nothing should hurt on the mat. Everything should feel good. We're working in the hamstrings today, in the hips. They are often a setup for injury, so be very, very mild and gentle as you stretch through them, paying attention to the body space, never creating any pain in any of those areas. So most of you who ran for a belt should be back on the mat. So take your constructive rest position or your seated position, start to lower the eyes, and just take a nice little easeful breath. Let's start with just a gentle balanced breath to start, in and out through the nose, and then bring yourself into a nice 3-5 breath. So breathing into the count of 3 and breathing out to the count of 5. Just getting my clock set up there. Most of you know we would be here longer than an hour. Just gotta keep my eye on the clock. So nice inhaling to 3 and exhaling to 5. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Start off a little bit at your own pace, branching off, finding your breath to come rhythmically and smooth, and finding a little relaxation at the ends, during and the end of your exhalation. Look for the ease to come to you. Give yourself a little time to think about, are you up for finding a little fun on the mat? Are you willing to sort of just toss aside whatever's in your external world and just kind of be with yourself, your body, on the mat today? And after the next time you exhale, just let your breath go back to normal. Noticing how you're feeling on the mat. And from whatever position you chose for your breath work today. Let's all meet in tabletop in all fours. Coming into all fours. You can move your blanket off to the side. We won't really be using it. We're not on the knee space for very long here. Find the wrists under the shoulders, the knees under the hips. Take a nice breath in, and as you exhale, arc up into that first cat. And just feel it out a little bit. Move through the upper shoulder space as you press the weight in one hand and the other. And then come into a little stillness, and as you inhale, let your belly drop, let your gaze come slightly forward, and let your tailbone, your sit bones turn up towards the ceiling. And get a little spaciousness through the whole front of the body. So this shape creates a little length through the front of the body, through the upper shoulders, creates a little stretch through the low back. Exhale through your cat. Inhale through cow. Last one, exhale through cat. And inhale through cow. Turn your toes under here nice and tight. So walk them in so you get a nice toe stretch back there. And then shift your weight back a little bit to open up the foot. We're going to do some balance work towards the back end of class today. So we need our feet to feel nice and open. You can shimmy side to side. And then come into a stillness, turn those feet over, walk your hands back. Now let's come to a nice standing position. You'll end up at the back of your mat. Inhale your hands all the way up. Come on down to Samastitihi. Inhale. And exhale, starting the class with a little fun as well as ending the class with a little fun. Let's take a little balance walk to get to the top of our mat. So bring your left foot into nice strong balance, firm the core, bring your hands to your waist, bring your right foot up to a nice 90-degree angle. And then keeping your gaze forward, step it forward, land your heel, bend your left knee, land your right heel, your right toe. Finding that footing on that right foot, come right up into balance here on the left. See how you're doing today. Take a nice breath in and exhale. Put a slight bend in the right knee, land your left heel and then your right toe. Find your right foot to meet you right in your Tadasana space. And here you land in mountain pose. Peek down, take a nice breath, get nice and tall. Come on through Samastitihi, inhale and exhale. So if some of you like to use blocks and have them at home, you can put them at the top of your yoga mat. If you don't have blocks, there's a nice substitute. You can take 2 equal symmetrical shoe boxes and fill them with some old books or something and then tape them so they're nice and secure, and sometimes they can fit the same. So we're going to take a little bit of movement with our sun salute today, and then we're going to stop in a little bit and do some core work. So top of the mat. Take a nice mountain pose. Inhale your hands all the way up, get a nice stretch. Come on down through Samastitihi. Take this first forward fold. Nice soft knees because those back of the legs might feel tight. Find your hands on the floor or on your shins if the floor is not there for you. Inhale, get a nice flat back. Bring your hands to your shins. Take a nice flat back. And then exhale, float forward. Inhale again, big flat back. And then exhale, float forward. Find your hands on the mat and meet me in plank or half plank. Warming up early here, so plank or half plank, whatever you choose on your mat. Get a nice strong plank. Let's take a few breaths here. Claw your mat a bit. Get your hands nice and long. Pull your core in. Get that nice length through the back heels. Take a nice breath in. If you're on your knees to modify, perfectly fine. Still keep the core in and keep the upper body working. Inhale and exhale. 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. Last breath. Inhale and exhale. Land your knees. Let's come down onto the mat. Bend those elbows in towards the shirt. Pull your core in. Land your thighs and then your chest. And then land your belly. Top the tops of your feet down. Feel your feet on the mat. Tops of the feet, especially the toenails by the pinky side. Feel your pelvis. Your legs are slightly engaged. Hands are on the mat. Inhale, pull back on your hands and get a little front chest, a little back bend here in Cobra, and then lower down. Take another breath here. And exhale, let's take another Cobra. Pull back on the hands, feel the pelvis on the earth. Inhale, pull back a bit, and then lower down. Come turn the toes under and meet me in a nice down dog. Come all the way through and take a down dog. Let's take a little stretch in our down dog here. So pedal it out. Do what feels good. Move the feet around. You can side angle the feet. So take a nice side body stretch. Get a nice length. We're going to get into a little 3-legged dog movement shortly. But right now we're just pedaling out to open up the back of those legs. And pay attention to your legs today. We're going to work the back of the legs a lot, so see how they're feeling today. And then land your right knee, land your left knee. Take a breath and drop into child's. And give your wrists a roll. If child's is not a pose you like, stay up on the all fours and your forearms and your knees and give your wrists a roll. Now we're going to come back up through a little down dog and a little tuck the knee into the nose. Again, working the core, getting a little heat built up before we come down to a nice long stretch. So coming back up, bringing the knees back under the hips. Again, set up for down dog. So have that nice length in front of you so where your wrists are under your shoulders, a full handprint above. Claw the mat, get those nice strong arms, pull your core and turn your toes and come up into a nice down dog. Let's bring the tips of those toes together. You can forego any part of this if it doesn't feel like it's in your practice today, no worries. Flex your right foot and bring it off the mat. See how you feel. Connect to all three housing places of your body and then bring your leg up to a nice three-legged down dog. From this three-legged down dog, we're going to come forward on the tip of our left toes, bend the right knee in, and shift forward, bring that knees to our nose, and then send it back up. Inhale here. Exhale, bring it in, shift forward. Exhale, bring it back. Last one. Inhale here. Exhale, bring it in, and then come on back up to three-legged dog. Land that foot. Let's land the knees and the forearms, and give your wrists a roll. So if you get tension or you're building up strength in that forearm wrist area, you'll want to take a nice ease so you don't put a lot of pressure here. And if the three-legged dog, again, does not feel like it's in your practice today, just play around with your down dog while we cycle through here. Come back up to a nice position for down dog. Turn your toes under, second side. Come on, big toes touch. Flex. Take that left foot up as long and high as feels good for you. And then inhale here. And as you exhale, come forward, bring that toe in, touch towards the nose, and send it up. Inhale here. Exhale, bring it in, forward a little bit, and then send it up. Inhale here, and again, forward, tuck, 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 pull the core in, and then send it up. Land the foot, land the right knee, the left knee. Now let's take a nice child's pose. As you relax, let the arms relax. Give the wrists a little bit of movement. We're going to take a little crescent child's pose today. So if you're on your fours and the knees aren't working for you in child's, you can do this from the all fours position. We're just going to walk the hands over to one side of your mat. So pick a side and just walk all the way over, crescent your child's, all the way as far as feels comfortable, and then settle down. Take a nice breath in. And exhale. For me, I went to the left side, so I have this big right-sided opening, breathing into those right ribs, getting a nice stretch for our future balance work. Inhale and exhale. Now gently release that grip and come on back to the opposite side. You can walk those hands all the way around, getting a nice stretch in the back body now that we're warm. Find your length, land your head, take a nice breath. And exhale, inhale, and exhale. Nice. Come on back to midline. Let's come on back up to all fours if you want it there. Let's take care of those wrists a little bit. So with the wrists here, turn them out into a nice angle so they're pointing towards the outside edge of your yoga mat. So this is a nice stretch through the forearm space that we just put a lot of weight on. So it should feel like a nice stretch. If it doesn't feel like a nice stretch for you, come on back down to your forearms and just give your wrists a roll. If this is feeling comfortable or you're at your edge here, stay here. Otherwise, you can turn those hands back towards the knee space and the second one back towards the knee space. You can take one at a time. You can take them both together. If this feels good and this feels like it's enough stretch for you, then stay here. If you'd like to get a little more stretch, turn those toes under back there and drift back a little bit and feel that really front forearm stretch. Inhale and exhale. Nice. And coming on back up, unwinding. So we're going to use the heat that we just gathered a little bit from our movement work to stretch into the legs really strongly. So we're going to be here for a nice luxurious stretch. So enjoy it. It's going to feel really great for the body. You'll need a prop, so you'll need a belt. We're going to take a nice lying space here on the mat for a little bit to open up the leg shape. So as you come on down to lying, make sure you feel comfortable in your lying space. So nothing off to the side distance that might bother you. In your extension here, make sure you have space on both sides of your mat to get a nice wide leg stretch. And make sure your head is comfortable, your clothes are comfortable. As you lay onto the mat space, you might notice a little bit more heat in the body. We're going to capitalize on that heat right now and get a nice stretch. So let's take the belt or the strap or whatever you have and half distance it. And then find that belt space and place it over the top of the mat, over the foot. And then slide your hands down your belt. So we're really focusing, notice I have a soft knee here. We're focusing on a nice leg stretch here today, but we're not going to work the arms just yet. We're going to work them a little intermittently, but not right here. So I'd like the backs of your arms to feel comfortable. And the belt's tabs are in your hand for a little bit of help to coax the legs open. Take a nice breath in. And as you exhale, come somewhere to straight on that right leg. So if you come to straight and you're almost there but not quite there, soften down as you exhale, inhale, and then release and come back as you exhale to legs. Sort of coax the leg open here. So this is a big posterior leg stretch right through the hamstrings. If we shove into the hamstrings, but they don't like it. It doesn't feel good. So a nice, easy opening. So you can do this whole exchange today with the knee bent, if that suits your body. And the hamstrings take a little while to sort of soften and open up. But we know through research that the muscles, the big muscles, they need a little time. So kind of just having this leg extended, you should feel a little stretch here. Not overdone, but certainly a stretch. For those of you who are very open in the back body, and this is not a stretch for you, you know how to find your stretch. Work your toe back towards the back of your mat and find your stretch. And then just sort of soften around. Your grip should not be too tight here, nice and soft. Take a nice breath in. And exhale. Feel the left foot. Sometimes we jam the foot in, so relax that. Sometimes we hike the shoulders up, relax that. Let the exchange for the stretch happening just here without all that tension throughout the rest of the body. Nice breath in. And exhale. Some of you may want to experiment with pulling that core in and getting long on the left leg. See how that feels for you. Take a nice, that will extend for most people the stretch. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now, this next inhalation, think about the back of that right leg and really send your exhalation breath as if it was washing over the leg to see if you can coax it to soften. So take a big breath in and exhale. Bending back into that left leg. And let's transfer the belt now to our right hand. So I like to take my strap, whatever it is, and roll it around the wrists. And that way it prevents a roll around the palm. That way it prevents the fingers from clutching. It's just a nice tension to hold the leg as you get long. You can place your left hand right on your left hip here to make sure your hip stays grounded. So we're going to get pendulum open to the right, but you're not going to shift your hips off the mat to get a stretch. I'd like you to take a less stretch and keep your hips grounded. But flex your right foot, take a breath, and as you exhale, pendulum it open to the right. And just go look at tad, see where it's at, let it settle, let your hips settle, and then maybe drift a little more, maybe drift a little more, maybe drift a little more. See where you're at. Keep the flexion in that leg. We're working the muscles here. It's not a yin class. We're working the musculature, so really flex and open that up. You can stay here. If you're comfortable, you can put a softness in the knee. That will release some of the stretch. You can make a lot of modifications to find this work for you. Some of you pull the core in, might want to get long on that flexed left leg here. So we're not hovering, we have it grounded here. And then bring your left arm out to a big stretch. So this is a big open stretch, big external flexion, external rotation on the right hip, long leg through the left side of the body. And close your eyes now and think about replacing your belt. and maybe hanging onto your ankle or your big toe. Not doing it, just thinking about it, seeing what that would look like in your mind's eyes. We get there maybe later in the class. Take a nice breath in and exhale. Now soften that right knee a little bit. Pull your core in and bend your left knee in. And with the inner seam of your right leg, the inner seam of the groin, the knee, and the ankle, I'd like you to use those 3 points as you pull your core in and slowly rise that leg up. So here we are working the interior side of the leg as well. So working a little stretch, a little strength here. Let's cross the belt over to the opposite hand and tie it here. So we're going to take a nice stretch here on this side. Flex your foot. We're going to get into the outer rim of the right leg, the fascia on the outer side. Take a nice breath in, and as you exhale, float that right big toe so it's just directly above that shoulder space, if they were looking at one another. And you should start to feel quite some stretch along the outer right leg. If you're not feeling that stretch, you can move the toe up towards the back of your mat. But be really gentle here. This is the IT bend, takes a lot of time to open up. Take a nice breath. And exhale, you can take this right hand up to the top of your mat if that feels good. Getting a little more length out of the side body. Take a breath in. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let's come back to the midline here. Now let's get into a little bit of core space work. You can put a little softness in your knee and walk your hands up your belt tabs and split your belt tabs here. We're going to use the core to rise ourselves off the mat. Pull your core space in nice and strong. Take a nice breath in, and as you exhale with your core engaged, let your chest rise off the mat just a little bit. Let it pull in here. Take a nice breath in, and exhale, lower down. So you can take that again the next time, or you could forgo the belt and just use the body with the hands to the ceiling. Inhale here. And as you exhale, come on up and just hold here for a few little bits, a couple seconds. Let your breath be natural, but your core is engaged. Inhale and exhale. Slowly lower down. Grab the belt tabs. Now we're going to take one last stretch here. I'd like you to keep your ankle, your knee to your foot as straight as possible, and bend your thigh to come down along the outside side of your chest. So you have a nice right angle in this leg, and opening up this leg to a nice little happy baby. You can hang on to the belts, or you can grab onto the outer foot and just open up this hip a little bit. Take a nice breath in, and exhale. You can get long on that left leg if you like, whatever feels good for you. Inhale, and exhale. Nice. Let's undo this leg, undo the belt, drop the foot to the floor, and feel that expression, that sort of opening in that whole right hip space. Slide the knees side to side a bit, and let's get into the second side. You can do this entire process with your eyes closed. It feels really nice. Belt the left leg, take a nice breath in, and as you exhale, get long on the left. You might notice one side is more open than the other. Perfectly natural, or often very asymmetrical. Slide your hands down so you can rest the backs of your arms on the mat to focus the stretch purely on the back of that left leg. Take a nice breath in here. And exhale. Flex through that left leg. Again, keeping a soft knee if you need. Working the foot back to the back of the mat if you'd like as well. Your work. Just notice where you're kind of creating tension to try to find relaxation. So if really working, stretching, or pulling back, you think is kind of helping you, soften down around. Soften the right foot. Soften the shoulders. Soften the face. And just be patient with the hamstrings. We're going to continue to coax them open all class today. And we're just nicely giving them a little expression here. You can stay right here. You can pull your core in and get long on the right leg if that feels good to you. Again, that will increase the intensity of the scissor of the hip, thereby needing and requiring more length out of the hamstring. So if that's not a good feeling for you, back away from that. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let's bend that right leg back and float the belt to the left hand. Take it whatever shape you like. I like to wrap it around. Flex the foot, right hand on the right hip so it stays grounded on the earth. Flexing your left foot, big breath in, and then pendulum open to the left. So you can stop somewhere, you can get deeper or deeper. If your belt starts to get too loose, you can walk up the belt strap and get a little more tension on your belt there. If you want to forgo the belt and grab onto the big toe, you can grab onto your big toe as well. So take the stretch any way you like. You can stay right here. You can get long in that left leg if you like, and you can float, right leg, excuse me, you can float your right hands long. So any stretch you like. This end stretch, I want you to close your eyes and think about flexing and standing on your right foot and really finding that expression, that extension through the left side. Take a nice breath in and exhale. Bend that right foot back in. Re-grab the belt if you let go of it. And I want you to think again in that inner seam of the left leg. Let's make this inner left leg work here a little bit for us. So pull your core in and think of those 3 dots, the groin, the knee, and the inner ankle. And using those 3 points, not your outer hip, slowly rise the leg up. That's a lot of work. We don't often work that area in the body, so it's nice work. Switching the belt to the right hands now, flexing that left foot. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, bring it over to just peek at the right shoulder. Again, getting into this outer seam of the leg. Close your eyes down, find your stretch. Take a nice breath in, and exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Coming back to the midline here, walking up the tabs of the belt. Splitting the belt, take a nice breath in here, pull in the core space, and as you exhale, slowly lift your chest gently off the mat. Now I know you're holding onto the mat, but I want you to feel the connection of the abdominal work right through the mid here. That's what's doing the work for you. Your core is engaged, this split is pretty soft, and you're just working through this mid body. Inhale. And exhale, slowly lower down. We'll take that a second time and pause it there. You can hang on to the belt or you can forgo the belt. This is a little bit more work to just utilize the midsection. Take a breath in, pull in the core space, and as you exhale, get nice and long. So reaching the fingers to the ceiling, the gaze is at the ceiling, the work is through the mid body. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. And exhale, and then slowly lower down. Grab onto those belts if you let go. We're going to take a half happy baby on this side. So flex the foot. Now think about just lining from here to your hip along the side of your body, coming down. That takes the shape with the sole of the foot still looking at the ceiling. You can stay right here in happy baby. You can forgo the belt and grab onto the foot if it's there for you, or the ankle. See what works for you, working that extension through the rotation or the flexion in the hip, and then you can get long on this right leg if you like. Take this right hand wherever it feels good and take a nice stretch. Close your eyes, take a big breath. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. So you can see we're spending a lot of time, bend the right leg in, unwind, opening the backs of the legs, the hips, really kind of being really gentle with the thighs and hamstrings. Lower this leg down, but still getting a nice stretch for them. Open side to side. I'm going to take a little thread the needle here from line, so you can use your belt if you want, or just use your hands. Let's flip the right foot over the left knee. So your outer right ankle is on top of your left knee. That's the start of this pose. Walk your left foot in as far close as you can. Now pull your core in for a nice core support here for the low back. And then grab onto your right knee and your left foot and bring your legs back in towards your chest. So you can stay right here. Sometimes I get a nice big stretch in this right hip, just putting the right elbow on the right shin and pulling the knee in. Some people will prefer this stretch with the belt behind this back of this left leg. That'll feel better in the upper body space for some people. So always an option. Some people like to thread the hands through the leg, thus thread the needle, and pull in that way. So see what works for you. Take a nice breath in, and exhale, both feet are flexed. This left shin is parallel to the ceiling. It's working, it's not just hanging out, it's working the whole time. Inhale, and exhale. Feel that big stretch in the outer right hip. Inhale, And exhale. Slowly unwind and take a little windshield wiper. Nice work. One more stretch here on the other side. Let's flip over the left ankle to the right knee. You can decide whether you're going to thread through the leg or just grab onto the surfaces of the leg or use the belt, your choice. But both feet are flexed, the knees are protected, and the right shin is parallel to the ceiling. And see if you're not hiking up your shoulders. Get a nice long neck here. Bring your shoulders away from the ears. Just take the stretch here in this outer left hip. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Unwind. Take a little pelvic tilt. Lower down. Sway side to side. So we're going to use that opening we've had in the back of the legs a little bit. Add a tiny bit more core work, which is, paramount to all of our poses. So take this as a space that suits you. Bringing the knees into the chest slightly. And then flex your feet. Put the seams of your feet together here. Slide your hands around the back of your legs and let your feet come up to the ceiling here. So taking a nice stretch. And then spread the feet as if you were standing on them in Tadasana. So you can have softness of the knees if you need, or come long on your legs. And here's a nice work. Your core is engaged. You're getting bilateral stretch. You wouldn't have started this without taking this big back leg stretch already. You can stay right here. You can press onto the mat to help you out. You can claw, you can press held onto the seams of your mat and push away to help keep your core power here. Some of you may want to take the hands up to the ceiling as well. Take a nice breath in and exhale, keeping your core work. Maybe raise your tailbone and your back, upper shoulders off the mat. Big core work here. Feet are flexed. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Slowly lower down. Bend the knees. Bring them into the chest lightly. Place your feet on the floor. And then just side to side. Take a nice resting posture. Bring your hands out to a nice Shavasana space. Take a pelvic tilt. Rise up and down. Walk the seams of your feet together. Take a breath. And open your legs into a nice little butterfly here. So getting a nice butterfly shape here. Take a breath in. And exhale. Use your hands to bring your thighs in. Take your left leg long on the mat. Leave your right foot right where it is here. Left hand on the hip. And open to tree here. So supine tree. Let this leg open to the side shape. Get a nice tree shape. Flex both this foot that's long. And just feel what this feels like for you. Take a nice breath in. And exhale. Bringing the right knee in now. Grab onto that right leg. Take a breath and bring it into your chest. As you bring your right knee into your chest, flex both feet. And now again, as we lie on our mat, close your eyes, take a breath, and feel what it would feel like to stand in this position. So your left foot would be on the ground, standing one-legged balance, pulling the knee close into the chest. Inhale and exhale. Unwind here. Let the right foot come to the floor, bring the left knee in, switch out. Get long on the right leg, let the seam of the left foot hit the inner thigh and then open into a nice tree shape on this side. So opening this external rotation of the leg here. Again, prepping the body for later in the practice, opening it up, flexing both feet, take a breath in. And relax anywhere you want to feel a little more extension. Use your left hand to bring the left leg in. And then grab onto that left knee, take a breath, and again, squeeze it nice and close to the chest. Flex both feet, close your eyes down, soften your arms, and feel yourself, imagine it standing on the foot, still, powerful, strong, balanced. Having a little fun. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale and exhale. exhale. Nice. Let's release the leg. Bend the right knee, take a little sway. So we've got enough time on the floor space. Let's get a little moving again. You can meet me in seated. You can just roll onto your side and come to seated, or spinal roll up to a nice seated position. As you come into seated position, grab your blankets, because we're going to do a little breath work or a little seat work here. And most people benefit from a little blanket or pillow or something right under the hip shape. So as you come into a nice little seated position, we're going to start a little forward fold and play a little bit from the seat position. So take your left leg long on your mat and let your right foot come out to a side space. Now, if this is not comfortable for you and you're not up on your sit bones comfortably, take more height. Also, if you're feeling that the leg extending here is not serving you well, you can put a block or a pillow or something that you have underneath right there to support that. But you want to feel relatively comfortable here because we're going to turn this into a forward fold. Take a nice breath, get as tall as you can. And as you exhale, let your hip points come forward. Don't worry about your chest. Don't hunch in. Just let your hip points come forward. Keep your core engaged and come a little forward to this half Paschimottanasana, Ardha Paschimottanasana. So your forward fold, if you're tight in the hip space or the low back space might be right here, that's perfectly fine. Be mindful of your body. Those of you getting some length out of the body space or feeling a little open in the back body today, you can walk down the body space. You can grab onto the foot. I know some of you here in practice are very comfortable there. You can flip your hands around the bottom of your foot and thread that together. Whatever works for you. Take a nice breath in and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Gently move away from that left side leg. Bring the right leg in. Flip it out there. Give it a little shake. Let's switch sides. Bending in the left leg and opening it up to a nice butterfly shape on the left. Again, you can always use a prop. One side might be more open than the other. So see what you need. Come really forward on your blanket so just your sit bones are there. Get a nice leg, long leg, and flex this foot. Take a nice breath. Get tall. And as you exhale, pull your core and take your hip points forward. Almost look as if you're looking over your leg, coming down. Take a nice breath in and exhale. Stop wherever your body wants you to here. Inhale and exhale. Last breath. Inhale and exhale. Slowly walk your way away from that pose. Bring your left knee in. Take it long. And give your legs a little bit of a shake. We're going to take a little baby cradle here, nice for opening the hip shape. So bend the legs in and take this left leg like it's in a nice simple seat. So start in simple seat. So you're just easy seat. We're going to take this right leg off the mat space and put the foot on the hand and on the knee. And here is baby cradle, rocking side to side. This is enough work. We're just moving the hip shape, flexing the foot. Some of you will want to change this up a bit and add this foot outer edge to the inner elbow and then the elbow here. And again, nice baby cradle. Keep your core engaged. Don't twerk the back here. Nice opening. Second side, let's unwind. Flip sides. So I like to start the body in the modification and then move along so you kind of know, are you pushing too hard or do you have room to go? So finding the foot and the knee and just side to side rocking that and noticing how the low back feels. Are you really flattening out and sinking into your low back space, or can you stay upright and broad? If you can stay upright and broad here in the back space, you can take that elbow to the knee. See how that works. Maybe pulling that knee in a bit more and taking that opposite elbow to the knee and taking your shape in baby cradle. This is big stretch in the left hip, so only take what feels good to you. And then slowly unwind. Take the feet out. Take a nice stretch. So we're going to get into a nice Upavista Konasana, so a nice wide angle. So take your feet nice and wide on the mat space. Get as wide as the legs will take you. Feel that length here. Flex your feet nice and strong. So take the thigh and turn it down and back. Down and back. Set this leg up and sit tall. So for some of you, this will be a lot of work. and stay here. You can even bring the knees in a little bit. For those of you who want to turn this into a forward fold, it does extend the shape. So see how you feel. This is a big back, body, leg stretch. So it's not there for you today. Just kind of stay upright here, taking this stretch. Take a nice breath in. Pull your core in. And if you're moving on, take your hips forward on your mat space. Like to use the hands for a little work here. Flexing as you come on forward. Keep your gaze forward. Walk the fingertips out. Maybe take the forearms to the mat. See what works for you. Take a nice breath in and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Come away from the pose nice and gently. Bring the hands, bring the knees in, take them out, take a nice stretch. So you'll see where we're going as we come into more standing postures here to opening up the body space. Let's keep this left leg long and flexed. Take your right foot up and cross it over your left. We're going to take a little twist here. Take your right hand to the back of your mat. You may be opposite me here. Take your left hand to your knee. So just take the cueing. Left leg is long, right leg is crossed. Left hand's on right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale, get as tall as you can without pulling on your body. Just pivot over towards your right shoulder. So you're moving your twist from your belly button to the center of your chest without pulling with the hand. If you tend to pull and jam your body, maybe float the hands. So you just let the revolution come from the midline of the body. Inhale and exhale. All of these stretches help to open the body for where we're going when we come to standing. Inhale and exhale. Slowly unwind. Let's switch sides. Right leg long, left leg crossed. If the crossing doesn't work for you, keep it here, inside. Take the right hand on the left knee, and the left hand becomes your nice strong support behind the back. So you want a nice long back for a twist. Pull the core in, and as you take a big inhalation, as you exhale, let the belly button to the sternum look towards the left side of your mat. Again, no pulling on this leg. Just let the spin happen naturally. It's really healthy for you to continue this natural shape of the spin. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Gently unwind. Take the feet out. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. We're going to take one last seated position, and then we're going to get up to standing and fool around with what we've done lying and seated to standing. So the left leg is long. Bring the right foot in. Remember when we brought our knee way into our chest when we were lying? Take that shape now. Both feet are flexed. The right knee is in, but feel your sit bones there and pull your core in. And then maybe wing this leg out a little bit. And just take this shape, seeing what the body would feel like if maybe we were standing in this shape. Some of you may want to take this right hand down to the outer ankle and extend through that leg and take that stretch. See how that feels for you. Counterbalance with the right. Take a breath in and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Bending that foot back in, placing it on the mat, switching sides. So getting long into this right leg. Both the sit bones are grounded, the core is engaged here, and this right leg is working. It's housing the lower body for you. Hang onto the leg and pull it nice and tight. So maybe you stay right here. This feels good. You're working your core. You're working a broad chest. Some of you may want to wing that leg out. Take a little rotation there. Some of you may want to take the outer ankle and get long here on this side as well and counterbalance. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Nice. Let's bring it back in. Unwind. Shake those legs out. We're going to take one little stretch here before we get up to standing. So let's come on to all fours and forearms and take a few circles. It's going to feel really good from our seated position. So you can take this any way that feels good to you. Just find your forearms, find your knees under your hips, and at your own space, just shift over as you exhale and rock on back. And take a few circles one side and a few the other. It doesn't matter how deep you take your circles. I like the toes turned under and really taking the hips down along the heel shape. And then And the second side, come up through the middle, take a big breath, and as you exhale, drift to the other side. And take a few on that side as well. Just kind of releasing the back, releasing the hips from all that work, and just opening and softening. Nice. From here, come into all fours again. Turn those toes under. Walk back and come on up to standing. You can grab a drink if you like. Take a nice drink as you come to standing. See what we have time for, like I always do when we practice together. We're going to continue to open up the thighs a little bit, and then and cat and hamstrings, and then play with some balance. So I'd like to take one more standing stretch before we fool around with a little balance in Parsvattanasana. So this is extended leg stretch. So you're going to stand on your mat. I'm going to show this to the side. If you have blocks, the blocks will be helpful to you, but if you don't have blocks, it's fine. We're going to start in a nice triangle shape. So you're going to take your leg, your right leg, and bring it back on your mat. So as if you have this nice little pyramid with your legs. And feel your feet. They should be both looking forward of your mat. And you should feel weight in both your feet. If taking this shape makes you feel unsteady, you can't ground into both your feet. You want to take this back foot a little wider, because we're going to take a forward fold here. So if you're already here and unsteady, a little wideness in your feet will help you out here. So we're going to take this really gently. Let's see where everyone's at. And put a nice softness in your front left knee. Press through your back right leg. Press down and forward on your right leg. And pull your core in. Take a big breath and get tall. And as you exhale, take your hips forward into a nice flat back shape. So you're coming into a nice flat back. So this can be your stretch. This is a big stretch through the back of this left leg. Your gaze is at your mat and you're just staying here. Some of you may want to drop those hands to the floor or to your blocks and maybe stay here. So again, weight is in both feet here. The core is engaged. You're pressing down, pulling up on the kneecaps. You can stay right here. If you're getting a big back leg stretch on the left, stay here. Some of you may want to go a little further. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, straighten out that left knee. Maybe tip a little further in. If you're feeling good there and you want to change this to balance, you can take your hands to the back of your leg. Any way you want to take this pose, just take the stretch. Take a nice breath in and exhale. To come away from this pose, soften your front left leg. Press down and forward on both your feet, so you're really charging up your legs with a bent knee here. Bring your hands to your waist, and as you inhale, come up with a nice flat back. Nice. Step forward. Take a nice breath in from all the way up. Come down. So that's a very gentle pose. That's a really powerful pose. And it's a big stretch pose. So be really mindful here. Stepping back again, about 1.5 feet. And see this side. Every side's a little different. So as you step back on this side, maybe this side will be more open for you. You'll see as you get there. But for right now, make sure you're feeling steady in your feet. Really grounded. So press down through both your feet like they're anchored to the earth. And if they're not, and you feel wobbly, you're not going to then add another mechanism to the body. So if you're wobbly here, get a little wider on your foot to give yourself a better support down there. Take a big breath in, pull your core in, firm your legs. As you exhale, soften your right knee to start. And forward fold, hips to thighs, and come to a nice flat back. Again, if this is your stretch, stay right here. This is perfect. If you want to go a little further, you can put your hands on the floor or your blocks. If you want to go a little further, take a big breath in and maybe straighten that right knee out, and then maybe tuck that head down there, and maybe grab onto the shins. Any space you want. Let's just take 2 nice, beautiful breaths here. Pull up on your kneecaps, so you're really using your quads here. Inhale. And exhale, last breath. Inhale and exhale. Now soften your right knee. Take your hands to your waist, pull your core in, and as you inhale, press your feet away from one another and come up nice and tall. Oops. Step forward. Inhale your hands all the way up. Come on down through Samasthiti. Inhale and exhale. So here's the fun part. All right, let's have a little fun. We're going to start with tree pose. We already did it lying. And then we're going to move to more one-legged standing balance, and then we're going to have a great Shavasana. So have a little fun. Left leg is grounded. Right leg is your bent leg. So kickstand your legs, bring your hands to your waist. So if you're at home and your balance is a little tricky for you today, you're always welcome to have one hand on the wall. Just the fingertips make a huge difference to the brain. So take that option and play with it. Sometimes speeding up the skill of your balance work is really benefited from a wall space, because you can come into a pose and then come out of the pose, and you gain confidence and actual ability by the wall just being there. So just an option to play with. Take a nice standing pose, pull your core in, look down, make sure your left leg is nice and grounded. Kickstand your right foot, going into tree here. We have a little fun. We're going to take the inner sole of the right leg to the inner shin of the left and really turn this leg out. So we did a lot of work here with the belts. Remember, we pendulum this whole leg open. So really turn it out here in a full tree pose. Bring your hands to your waist, stay here. You can come into Anjali Mudra. You can come into full tree pose. You can play any way you want. You want to have a little fun and fool around. You can reach down, cross over the knee into the shin. Don't stop at the knee. If you can't cross the knee, come out of this pose. Come back to the shin. When you find the inner thigh, seam them together again. Turn it out and take your tree pose. Take a few breaths wherever you are. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's come out the way we went in. Nice and smooth. No rush. Hands to waist. Knee comes forward. Come to mountain pose. Nice work. Shake the legs, second side. So have some fun, whatever works for you at your household. Stop anytime you want. Strong right leg. Kickstand the left. Pull the core in. Get broad across the chest so you're nice and sturdy here. All through this one-legged stance. You can stay right here, working balance pose right here for some people. This is enough. Perfectly fine. If you'd like to come into tree, find that inner shin and turn that leg out. And maybe now settle into your tree pose. Those of you who want to get a little, have a little playfulness on your mat today, you can reach down, cross over the knee, come on up to the thigh, and then find your tree pose into your shape. Take a few breaths wherever you are. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's come on out, center down, and shake the legs. Nice. So we're moving today. I want to just show you this pose really quickly, because when we're in it in its full form, I want you to be able to keep your drishti and not look at the screen at all. So we're going to take what we did lying and sitting and weave it all together and come up with a standing pose. And you can stop wherever you're comfortable, but I want you to see where we're going. So where we're going is to Hatha Pangustasana, hands, big toe. We played with that a little bit on the floor. So it's the mechanism of tree, and then we did this pose on the floor, and then we did this pose on the floor. So maybe you're going to stay right here and take this shape here. This is the prep work for this pose. And then maybe we'll come out here and play with this. So this is one prep action. If this is feeling really good for you, you might reach down and grab either the ankle or the big toe. And maybe this is your work today. It's big work. And then maybe you're going to get extended here into Hatha Pangustasana. So you'll see where you're going to go today. I'm going to cue you most of the time, so I'm going to come in and out of the pose so that I can focus on really as I'm instructing rather than what I'm doing. So a nice standing pose. Let's clear the slate. Inhale the hands up and come down. Remember, balance is fun. You can take it anywhere you want. It's very normal to come in and out of balance a couple times during a pose. There's no perfection in yoga. That's why we practice and practice. So falling in and out of yoga balance, feel very comfortable with that. Stepping in and out, stepping in and out. That's how you gain sort of that practice to get to be where you want. So let's start here again. Left leg is nice and grounded. The right knee is flexed here. Find your hands on your waist. I want you to feel stability right here. So shine your gaze on a nice drishti and feel this work here. When you're ready, you might want to bring that right knee, scoop it up and bring it into your chest. See how that feels. Maybe this is enough work for you. I'm just going to march along. You stop. Get off the bus when you're ready. Maybe you're going to wing it out here. Take this extension. Maybe you're going to grab the shin or the big toe and then get extended here. Or maybe you're going to go long. Maybe you're going to let the hand go. So choose a pose for you that works for you. Take a nice breath in and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So if you were extended way out in Hatha Padangusthasana, bring the knee back in, bring it over, land your leg and shake. Nice. So again, all of these poses started with the wall shape with your hands on a wall. Gives you a lot of opportunity to feel confidence in the pose so that you can leave go. So always an option if you have a wall near your house. And you don't ever have to go to the extended balance poses that we go. There's always somewhere to stop, to start your very own building blocks to move along in your practice. It's just the way we work through it. Second side, right leg's nice engaged, left leg is kickstanded, find your dristi. So that concentration point right at the horizon in front of you, keep it there. Pull your core in from your right leg, and when you're ready, grab onto that left knee and squeeze it in nice and tight. Ooh, that'll challenge your balance, right? Some of you are laughing with me at home. Maybe wing it out to the right, maybe to the left, sorry, stay there. Or maybe reach down and grab that big toe, and then when you're ready, get your balance and extend out through the second side. Take your time. See, I love to show you that we all play. We all fool around, take our time, get to where we're going. So take your time. Take a breath. And exhale, let's come away wherever you landed. Slowly unwind, land the foot. Take a nice breath all the way in. Come on down through Samastitihi. Inhale and exhale. Nice work. We're going to come back down to the seat. I'd like to take one nice lying pose before we finish into Shavasana. So let's come to the top of the mat. Inhale your hands up. Let yourself float here. Exhale, fold forward. Your legs may feel much more open here than when we started. Hands to shins, nice flat back. Exhale, soften your knees. Step down and meet me in plank. Here we are in a nice strong plank. Take a breath in. And exhale, land the knees. Bend the elbows in. Land the thighs and the chest. Come on up to a little cobra. Exhale, lower down. Turn your toes under, and we're just going to come back through a quick down dog. Take a nice stretch, evening everything out. Then land the knees. And come on into child's. Take a nice breath. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Come on, back up. We're going to take a nice wide leg twist here. So come into lying before we finish. Just to release the legs from that big standing hip work. Come into lying on your mat, get nice and comfortable. Heel toe your feet out to the side of your mat. Make sure everything feels pretty symmetrical, where your feet are seamed on your mat. Your low waist feels comfortable. Take a little pelvic tilt, square everything up. And then the knees now come wide to the ceiling. Bring the hands out to a nice T shape. Take a nice breath in. And as you exhale, just drift your knees off to one side. It doesn't matter right or left. Just open them up. And then that top leg, whichever is your top leg, is where you have that stretch from the shoulder down through the top hip and down through the leg. So take that nice stretch. You can put a little weight on the inner top knee, sort of press it towards the mat if that feels good to elongate the stretch. You can take the opposite ankle and put it on the knee. That's a big work. So if you have any low back injuries, that's a lot of weight, so don't add that. Just leave it resting. We're winding down now. So you don't really want to take your body to a place where you have to work. I like the intention here to just be ease. changing from that fun, fooling around, getting our heart rate going, to just a little ease here. Big breath in and exhale. Walking those knees back up to the ceiling, taking a little pelvic tilt, pressing in and lowering down. And then again, find the seams of the mat with your feet, knees are wide, take a breath, and drift off to the other side. And then take a nice stretch to that side. Should feel like a very welcome stretch at this point. The muscles are nice and warm. Getting a nice stretch from the top leg shoulder line all the way down through the hip, all the way down to the inner seam of the knee. So really sort of relish that stretch for yourself. Take a big breath in and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Bring those knees back up to center. Walk your feet together. Take a little pelvic tilt. Grab your right knee and your left knee. Sway it side to side over that low back. We're going to shift our way into a nice Shavasana space here. So look around, see how you can set your setting up for your Shavasana space. Maybe you want a nice relaxation for those nice stretched legs today. If you like that, you can take a pillow or a prop and put it right under the leg shape to give yourself a little height for the legs. You can take a pure Shavasana with the legs lowered. So set yourself up, take a pose that works for you. Kind of find the ease of that. Start to close the eyes down. You find yourself still on your mat. Start to think about your practice and where it landed in your body and start to relax through those areas. So think about the leg work we did today. And as you find your ease, soften your legs through the thighs and the calves, even the feet. And the next time you exhale, soften the belly as the hips rest on the mat, connected, peaceful, maybe even a little more open. Relax your upper back, and the shoulders, and the backs of the arms and the forearms, and the palms. Even the fingertips. Soften the brow, the cheeks, and the jaw. Soften the eyelids and the eye muscles. Just allow yourself to witness the freedom in the body after a nice opening practice. How good it feels to feel a little looser, mixed with a little stillness. Enjoy your Shavasana. I'll bring you out to the sound of the chimes, so let yourself drift. fingers and the toes. Rolling the wrists and the ankles. Bringing the knees into the chest, taking a long stretch, doing both. What feels good. And then slowly, peacefully, we'll roll onto your side, lying space. Take a little breath there. When you're ready, bring yourself to your simple seat. We did a lot of work today to open the hips so your simple seat may feel a little bit more relaxed. Take a little prop under the hips and sit tall. Any kind of simple seat will work for you, any easy seated position. Turn the palms up, keep the gaze quiet, take a nice breath in. And exhale. Finding a little opening on the mat today, a little playfulness with balance, fooling around. Take a nice breath in and exhale. To close class, I like to bring the right and left hand together, symbolizing the work we do in the structural body, and then plug the thumbs into the heart center. There's the space you can look at for a little freedom, a little playfulness. Take a nice breath in. If you'd like, you can join me, bowing the head, connecting the mind and the heart through the hands, through doing. Thank you for practicing. Namaste. Have a nice week. It's good to see you all in my mind. Hopefully one day soon. Anyway, stay well. Have a nice week.